Hello, my name is Matthias Lee from the Sturdy Oak Estate Sugar Bush, and I wanted to take a brief moment to share this little vacuum system that we put together this year. We are members of the Maple Producers of Northeast Ohio, and I showed this off at our meeting last month, or I guess earlier this month, and I just wanted to capture what I showed off on video so it can be shared. So just for a little bit of context, we are really new to making maple syrup. This is only our second year. We started out last year with 20 taps on buckets. Our goal was to double our production to get to 40 taps on buckets, and we did do that. But then at the very last moment, we managed to put together this little vacuum system, and that meant that we ended up adding 60 taps. So instead of going from 20 to 40, we ended up actually going all the way to just above 100 taps. So I just wanted to briefly show off this little system. A lot of this is inspired by things that I've seen online, YouTube videos that I've watched and things like that. But I think it's incredible how good of a vacuum system you can put together for just over $200 or so. So I'm going to bring the camera in a little bit closer and walk you through the components that I have here. All right, now that I've got you guys up close, this is what the system looks like. You have the main heart of the operation right here, which is the diaphragm pump. This is made for an RV actually, to supply water and things like that. All in all, this is relatively inexpensive to put together. This costs about $200 or so. The main cost there was the diaphragm pump. We have a couple of temperature controllers, a little heating pad, and a bunch of plumbing fittings, and that's really about it. This worked incredibly well. We have a pump controller here, which turns a pump on when it's just above freezing and turns it off when it drops below freezing. And we have a little heat controller here that operates that little heat pad underneath those computer heat sinks, just to try to keep this box above freezing. Just to orient yourself, the sap comes in here from my lines and then leaves through this line over here off to my collection tank. You might also notice that there's a second line right here, and that is for recirculation. Turns out that these diaphragm pumps really like to stay wet, which means that if they ever run dry, you end up having really poor vacuum. And thanks to some fine folks on the Maple Trader forum that pointed that out to me, I ended up adding that line in there, and ever since then I've been getting about 28, 29 inches of mercury directly here at the pump. Now, for the next season, I don't think I would really change anything about this in here, with the exception of adding in this little UV water sterilizer, or I guess sap sterilizer, that came in just a little bit too late for me to try it out this year. But the idea is that this gets plumbed in right here. Maybe this will even give me enough heat to not really need that heater in there. But the idea being that the sap comes in, gets sterilized in here before it gets sent out to the tank. So this is something to look forward to for next year. The other thing that I wanted to show off was this little manifold that I built. So I have 3 runs of 3/16 going out to my trees. I think the longest one had about 27, 28 taps on it or something like that. And I don't know if I'd go much more than that. That worked pretty well, but when the sap was really flowing, that line was really flowing. And you know, that's I may have been leaving a little bit out in the field because of that. But anyway, as this is working, you would see that there's about 25 inches of mercury while it's running at the manifold, and then at the pump you'd see about 28 or so. So anyway, just want to show this off. Thanks all, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks.